Hi, everyone. This is Patricia and Veronica, and we're here to discuss the decisions, how to make professionally and personally better decisions, written by Chip and Dan Heath. This book is a book that can really hit home, whether it's on your business perspective or your home perspective. And one of the great aspects of the book is that it does give you both those dynamics of business stories or personal stories that tie into both. The overall concept of the book is the 4 villains of decision making. And in that, there are 4 basic steps. Initially, we encounter a choice, we weigh our options, we make a choice, and then we live with it. And they have broadened this book to identify your narrow framing when you're encountering that choice, meaning we don't weigh all of our options. We don't look at all the possibilities. We become channeled in on one or the other and overlooking everything else. And so it's a great tool and to let you know, like, really weigh all of your options. I don't know what to say.
Oh, no, and we would really like to push the positive thoughts of this novel on ways that you can take initiative on how to make decisions wisely. Because usually the way that we make decisions is based in the moment, and that usually is, in the heat, or, your emotions get to you and you're not thinking clearly. And so this book basically touches step-by-step ways to be able to make this decision exactly the best for your life. And I think it's best that I can actually talk about a little bit about my life personally, that I believe that reading this novel was at the most perfect time. Just about 4 months ago. I wish actually I read this book 4 months ago, because I actually ended up getting let go from a job. I had no family support. I had no relationship with my baby's dad, and I was failing in school, which is a huge deal for me. And then also my health was declining, so I spent most of my time at the hospital racking up doctor bills. Just about 2-3 months ago, I bought a home. I'm graduating, and I got a great job, better job than I thought. And I've reunited with my family, as well as rekindled the relationship with my ex. In addition, I also gained my health back, which was great because, really health is everything you have. And so the whole point that I'm trying to make is that your whole life is about decisions. Your life is what you make it. And even the decisions that seem out of our reach to make, we have to make them, whether we want to or not. And so what Patricia was trying to say is that this book touches the so-called 4 villains that identify exact ways on how to initiate the correct way of thinking to be able to make a decision. And I think now, if you want to start by mentioning in detail what these 4 villains are, I can give you the stage and let you do your thing.
Well, the 4 villains are narrow framing, which is just meaning what I stated earlier, not really stepping back and looking at all of the options, it's kind of being black and white with either or, and getting out of that mind frame. Then you have confirmation bias, where it's doing what you can to make the honest comparisons. With that meaning, you're collecting the data, you're doing your research, and even though your gut is saying one thing, you're going to formulate that information that you're getting to ultimately conform to what your gut is telling you. So you're not really looking at the data, but you're conforming it and becoming biased by what the information is telling you. The third one is your short-term emotional. Distancing yourself before deciding and honoring your core priorities. So always staying true to yourself with knowing which avenue is best, and following that. And overconfident about the future is the fourth one, in anticipation of being wrong, prepare for both outcomes. With that, it allows you to be mentally prepared for whatever the outcome is going to be, whether you're successful or not. And for me, this one kind of really resonates because I know for myself, if I know what's coming, whether good or bad, I am much more able at dealing with it and navigating forward and not allowing that to become a hindrance into my life and making it a further setback. So I think with the breakdown of the 4-decision process, it's really allowed me reading this book to kind of rethink the way that I'm going to tackle these decisions. One of the things that the book also talked about was really going and seeking out people who can provide you the answers. And one of the examples that they used in that is Walmart. The CEO and founder of Walmart literally stole people's concepts, and he's the one who brought the whole pay at the register and instead of the individual departments into what it is today. And he technically stole it, and he admits it and is open about that. And I thought it was pretty interesting because his philosophy is go to the people who can get you the answers, and there's a lot of truth to that. So
yeah, no, I mean, definitely would like to add to that because you know, when I mentioned my personal life in this and how it totally went from this self-destruction to what I feel like, you know, new chapter, this great path that I'm finally going on, I could have easily let myself go and I could have let everything define me, but I wouldn't. I had to, you know, at the moment I just wanted to not think and I wanted to be reckless, and I had to think, okay, this is my life. And you know, usually we're wired to the fight or flight, and so I think that that's usually how we think when we're making decisions, is either when it's a decision we're not comfortable in making, you know, we don't want to deal with it and we end up doing something that we shouldn't do. So I wish I had this book in my life a little bit earlier, but I think it's great to know that at least the way I did make my decisions was based strategically, and I had to think about everything I was doing to make sure that it is really for the best. And so that is why I can gladly say I'm no longer where I was because of the way that I had thought about going with everything that was happening during that time frame. So, I mean, I definitely, do you have any examples that you'd like to add for the 4-step process? Is there anything that you can really, that you feel really close to as far as one of the steps, one of the process steps?
Nothing more than what I've already said, I don't think.
Okay. I also believe that there were some great quotes from the novel. One that I have found was, the difference between an amateur and a professional is in their habits. A professional has professional habits. And I just really like that quote, because to me, what this meant is, usually amateurs are inconsistent and they're not sticking with something that they have made commitment to, or as far as a decision. And so they don't really give that decision a chance. And so it never becomes its full potential. And so I really like how it worded out, the difference between an amateur and a professional is based on their habits. So really like that quote. And then I also saw a quote, let's see, there was also actually the one of the villains that I saw in there was the, anytime in life you're tempted to think, should I do this or that? Instead, ask yourself, is there a way I can do this and that? And I think that's a great quote too, because nothing is impossible. And when people make decisions, they make it based on what is realistic. And that's usually, that's the right way to go, I feel like, but also people need to have hope and people need to think outside the box. And I believe that this quote put a little light into believing in yourself, and instead of asking, somebody or yourself, should I do this or that? What can I do to do this or that? To get yourself there much closer to that decision making. And so I thought that was really good. So I don't have anything else to add to this, but I thought that overall the novel was great for anybody that may feel lost, may need guidance, or just even that extra push to understand the ways that they can go into making, whether it's a small decision to, buy a washer or dryer, what kind of brand and all that, to, owning a business, and whether it's a right thing or not, and what kind of business. I think that this book helps the person to be able to find a way to put it on paper and make sure that they are thinking about it clearly with the correct process. So I don't know if you'd like to end it off with anything, but yeah.
I would just really second that the book really can help you understand a streamlined process of a way to make decisions. So perfect. You should pick it up and read it.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, class.